So to start, I just like to demonstrate how important security can be in preventing reconnaissance or information gathering from an organization. So today we're going to be performing a reconnaissance attack to capture information about a target environment. Now for reference, just like Mark said, the information that I'm about to capture is being done by a regular user with no administrative privileges whatsoever. Let's just take a look at what we can find. So let's say an employee was phished through their email and the bad actors now have their password. It's also worthy to note that this employee is not using multi-factor authentication. So I'm going to be running a couple of commands to extract information as this employee. In this case, it's Alex Wilbur. So to start, I'm just going to run this command that connects to the tenant, and I'm going to provide the password of the user. All right, now that the password has been saved, let's run another command to dump the information out of the tenant. And we're going to see how quick it is to export this information from an Office 365 environment. All right, you can see it took us 11 seconds to capture information from this tenant. Now, let's take a look at what we can find. Now, as you can see, we've created a web server to be able to view the results in a graphical format. Let's take a look at what we can see. So this is the information that we've captured from this Office 365 tenant. Just by being a regular user, let's take a look at what we can find. So in this specific tenant, there's 33 users, 40 groups, 5 applications being used, and 305 service principal accounts that are accessing the tenant. And you can tell that this tenant's domain name, the type that it's managed and not federated, the capabilities of this tenant, and some of the properties. What else can you find here is you can see all the user accounts that were in the tenant, all their usernames, whether they're enabled or not, their email addresses, the departments that they work out of, and a very interesting one here is the last password change timestamp. Now this can be extremely useful for hackers that want to target an organization. Now keep in mind, this is done just by a single user, and you can take a look at all the information that you can capture just by that single user. You have their mobile device number as well, if they have it on file. And you can obviously tell the account type, whether it was synced or whether it was created in the cloud. And even more than that, you can click on each user and find out a little more information about them. Their UPN, their object ID, email, so on and so forth, as well as all the groups that they are part of. Now, this is extremely important information for a hacker to know so they can know who they're targeting once they want to start the attack. You can also filter by groups. So if you want to know all the groups that they have created, maybe you want to take a look at who's part of the finance department to try and attack them first. So if we click that, we can see all the members of the finance department. And these can be our next target that we'd like to attack in case we need to get financial information from the environment, or in case the hacker wants to do some sort of tactic to steal funds or to steal financial information from the environment. They know exactly who to attack and what passwords and what credentials they need. As well as devices, if any of the users have set up their mobile device to access the cloud or their laptop, it gives us the manufacturer, the model, the operating system, so on and so forth of these different types of devices. Now, one very important thing that they can also capture is their directory roles or these admin privileges. Now, again, we ran this as a regular user and we're able to capture who are user account administrators in the tenant, who are directory readers, in this case it's a service principal account, who are global admins, and who is a billing administrator. So any type of admin would show up in here in this report as well. And that would give hackers the ability to, you know, gain information or to capture information from the client to know who their target is or who they're going to attack and maybe extort the client for money. So in this case, they'll probably attack the billing administrator, knowing that they have access to some sort of billing information. And so on and so forth. You can see here all the applications that they use. They've incorporated Salesforce into the environment, all the permissions that are defined into Salesforce user impersonation access in this case, and all the Surface Principal accounts that are created or applications and the accounts. So there's a lot of intrusive information that can be captured just by running this script, and literally in 11 seconds, we have all this information in a graphical format for us to go through. And this is extremely risky, and MFA is extremely important in this case, and it'll block this type of attack from happening. So with that, we're gonna walk you through a day in the life of a hacker and talk about what they think, and how they go about it. Now, we've been involved in quite a number of breach investigations in the past. The clients that we've worked with usually want to know three main things. What is the extent of the breach, the events that occurred throughout the breach, and was there any data exfiltration or personal information or data theft? One thing in common amongst all these clients was that they were all using Office 365.